Xiaomi 14 Civi or Realme GT 6, which is the best flagship killer under Rs 40,000. Let the battle begin. So the Realme GT 6 is actually a flashy doppelganger of its younger sibling, the Realme GT 60, but it's made of all glass compared to plastic on the GT 60. Xiaomi 14 Civi, on the other hand, quite literally, actually has patent leather on one side and glass on the other side, and it's textured glass no less. While the design of the 14 Civi did grow on me, I like the black color variant better, but looks are subjective and your opinion might vary. But what's not subjective is that the 14 Civi actually has a better in-hand feel compared to the Realme GT 6, primarily because it's a smaller phone. Plus you get the quad curved display plus curved back, so all of that sits very nicely and comfortably in the hand. On the other hand, Realme is wider, has a larger display, is slightly thicker and slightly heavier. It's not bad for a 6.78-inch phone, but yeah, this one's got better ergonomics. And Realme's got a plastic frame. Xiaomi has an aluminum one, which makes it feel more premium. You also get the same buttons and ports on both the phones, including the Type-C 2.0 port at the bottom, which is a huge letdown on phones that cost 40,000 rupees. It should have been USB Type-C 3.1. But the IR blaster on both these phones, that's good. That's awesome actually. Well, there's one advantage of the GT6 though, and that is the fact that you get IP65 rating on this phone. You don't get any IP rating on the Xiaomi 14 Civi, at least not an official one. As for the display protection, both have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. So I'll say the round is a tie where Xiaomi feels more comfortable, more premium, but Realme makes up for that with the addition of the IP65 rating. Now, you know what? Things do get interesting when you compare the displays on both these phones. Of course, Realme's got a punch hole and Xiaomi's got like a punch bar. Also, Xiaomi's got a smaller display with micro quad curves on all the four sides, where Realme's a larger display with a curved panel. Now, I'll tell you this, after having used micro quad curved panels, it is the future of smartphone displays, and I really like the implementation. So it's like a nice balance between a curved display and a flat display, and the blend of both works, at least for me. But the 120Hz panel on Realme can actually refresh from 1 to 120Hz because of LTPO. Xiaomi doesn't have that. Now, an LTPO display means that Realme should ideally have better battery life than Xiaomi, but there's a twist to that tale as well, and I'll come to that really soon. Now, technically though, Xiaomi's display is more color accurate. It has a lower delta E compared to Realme, which does tend to oversaturate. That's not it. Xiaomi also is very particular about ensuring that you get the best multimedia experience. So you get HDR on YouTube, you also get HDR on Netflix. Actually, you get Dolby Vision on Netflix. Realme supports HDR only on YouTube, not on Netflix. That said, Realme does have a brighter display, no cap, whether you're watching it indoors, whether you're watching HDR videos, or you take it outdoors and compare the two side by side. Yes, there's that 6000 nits number that Realme keeps talking about, but that's only in a 1% APL window when you're watching HDR videos. You won't even really be able to tell the difference between the Xiaomi and Realme when you take a look at them side by side. Finally, Realme's O haptics, of course, it's incredible. You get extremely tight haptic feedback, but Xiaomi's no slouch either. I actually like it, and both of these have integrated nice vibration feedback across the system UI. And as for the optical in-display fingerprint scanners on both, it works flawlessly. Nothing to, separate the two. Now, that's for the display. When it comes to audio, you do get LHDC and LDAC support, so high-res wireless audio is supported, and even high-res wired audio is supported, which means that if you use a USB DAC, you should get really good audio performance as well. Now, we did compare the speakers on both, and what we noticed is that Realme gets louder, but Xiaomi's Dolby Atmos processing means that you get a richer sound. Take a listen to it for yourself and let me know what you guys think. Overall though, Xiaomi is the better multimedia phone compared to Realme. So Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, LPDDR5X RAM type, UFS 4.0 storage. If you opened up one of these two phones, the innards are going to be the same, but the performance tuning is kinda different. So Xiaomi scored higher both in Antutu and in Geekbench. That's not it. It offered better CPU stability in our 40-thread 30-minute CPU throttle test. What surprised me the most was actually the gaming performance. Now both these phones support BGMI at 90 FPS and COD at 120 FPS. But we played Genshin Impact at highest graphics and 60 frames per second for 30 minutes, and we got higher average FPS on Xiaomi compared to Realme. But most importantly, the device skin temperature was lower on Xiaomi compared to Realme, which was a complete surprise to us considering Realme has a larger vapor cooling chamber. Now, I know that a lot of people are wondering, how is this possible? Xiaomi Civi 4 Pro in China didn't have great performance, it throttled, it was hot. Well, they seem to have fixed it in the 14 Civi, and I can only report what we saw. And truth be told, I've called out Xiaomi for bad performance tuning in the past, Well, the 14 Civi is actually good performance tuning. Now add to the list of surprises, despite having a smaller 4700 mAh battery compared to the 5500 mAh unit inside the GT6, we actually got better battery life on the 14 Civi. The screen on time was higher. While the difference in screen on time is not much and it's kind of negligible, Xiaomi has definitely tuned the performance and the battery life really well on the 14 Civi, at least in the Indian variant of the phone. But yes, Realme does charge faster thanks to the 120 watt charging support on Realme compared to 67 watt on Xiaomi. By the way, on both these phones, I didn't face any problems with Wi-Fi or cellular connectivity. Both are extremely good, and you also get NFC, so tap to pay is possible. So you get Realme UI 5 based on Android 14 on the GT6, and you get HyperOS based on Android 14 on the 14 Civi. And both these brands also promise 3 years of software updates and 4 years of security updates, and they've been pretty decent with the updates as well. Now both Xiaomi and Realme do come with a few pre-installed third-party apps, all of which can be uninstalled, so I'm not really complaining much. But there are definitely dark patterns on both, especially during setup. You also do get the glance lock screen integration on both, so you have to be careful of not switching that on during setup. Also, when you swipe down to search, both require your personal data and they share it with some sort of service as well. Plus, you do get some recommendations built into the system UI. It's slightly cleaner on Realme compared to Xiaomi, which does end up recommending a few unnecessary apps. So overall, if you want like a premium near stock Android experience, that's not what you'll get with these phones. Now both the softwares also do offer AI features, or some sort of it at least. So Xiaomi's AI features are limited to the Gallery app. You get a Pro Eraser feature, which is like a magic eraser. You also get the AI Sky Change option, which is the first thing that Xiaomi introduced even before other brands, and it does it really well. Plus, you've also got generative fill in the form of AI expansion, and that works really well too. Realme, on the other hand, does offer way more AI features than just the Gallery app or the Photos app. Within the Photos app, you get AI Smart Removal, and that works okay. Apart from that, you do get the Auto Pixelate feature, which I actually kind of like. Essentially, what happens is that if the Photos app detects that there is some sensitive information in your photo, like a phone number of somebody, then it pixelates it, which is damn nice. But apart from the Photos app, there are a few other AI features like AI screen recognition. So in certain supported apps, a two-finger tap will end up, scanning the display and showcasing all of the content that can be copied, for example, images and text. There's also an AI eye comfort. Of the Leica collaboration, you were expecting Xiaomi's cameras to be better than Realme. Well, the reality is slightly different and not as simple and slightly more complicated. See, the details of the primary camera are good on both, but Realme's, sharpening algorithm ensures that you get slightly finer textures. But at 2x, that same over-sharpening algorithm makes the textures look artificial, and I'm not really a fan. I actually prefer Xiaomi here. And when you use the 2x camera on both to shoot low light shots, well, they're terrible. Both are really bad. Now, when we shot HDR pictures, both are very well balanced in terms of controlling the highlights and picking out details of the shadows, but Civi does it slightly better than Realme, although I'd say both are equally matched. I don't want to give the win to Civi here. When we look at the low light shots captured by the two phones, Realme does have a brighter exposure compared to Xiaomi. You can tell that for yourself. But if you look at it closely at 100% crop, Xiaomi's details look more natural. The over-sharpening algorithm tends to make details look slightly unnatural on Realme. That's not it. Realme's noise correction algorithm smoothens out a lot of details from the picture. Also, interestingly, Realme's ultra-wide shots seem to be better than Xiaomi's, and it seems to have more details, even with the 8MP camera compared to 12MP on, Xiaomi. Anyway, when it comes to color science consistency, actually both the phones are doing a fairly decent job, if you ask me. I like it. Both these phones can also shoot 4K 60fps videos with the primary camera. There was a lot of focus hunting issues that I noticed with the Xiaomi footage. Also, Xiaomi's footage had noise in the shadows, which Realme did not. That said, Xiaomi does have better sound recording quality.
This is the 4K 60fps video recorded using the primary lens of the Realme GT6 and the Xiaomi 14 Civi. Both are recording at 4K 60fps.
Although in the ultra-wide, Xiaomi shoots 4K 30fps, Realme can only do 1080p, so Xiaomi's better. And with the telephoto camera, I actually preferred Realme because it's got that sharpening algorithm going, so it's sharper in texture compared to, Xiaomi, and therefore you see more. So overall, if you look at it, both these cameras are kind of inconsistent. Sometimes Realme takes a really good shot, sometimes Xiaomi takes a really good shot. So yeah, to pick out a winner is very, very tough. So I thought Xiaomi 14 Civi would be the better camera of both because of the Leica branding, but Realme is also pretty competent. Now, to conclude, both these phones are the complete opposite of what the brand's marketing material will tell you. So the Xiaomi 14 Civi is a more premium phone with better performance chops than the Realme GT6. I actually expected the camera performance to be, incredibly better, which is not really the case. On the other hand, the GT6 is supposed to be about the GT lineup, which is meant to be performance oriented. Well, it actually has good camera performance.